Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's been a little bit since I last uploaded an actual vlog. I've just been super busy recently. Unfortunately, my grandma has just been really sick with her stomach, so we've taken quite a few trips to the emergency, and it's just been a whole stressful, scary situation. But luckily, my grandma's all good now. Everything's all good, and she's doing a lot better. She is on the road to recovery, which is great. It was just stressful, and I just couldn't film at the time, but obviously my grandma's health is way more important, so I just been helping out, taking care of her and all that good stuff. So now she's doing a lot better, which is great. But I have a little bit of reading updates for you guys, and I obviously want to go through the books that I do plan on reading in today's video. So let's just go ahead and get started. So as far as reading update goes, I did actually finish a book, and then I actually attempted another book, but I'm actually not going to finish this one because it was a letdown, which I will get to in a second. But first and foremost, let's talk about the book that I actually did finish. So I did finish reading Fate Be Changed by Farah Roshan. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars, only because it was a really good solid read. This is one of my favorite Twisted Tale versions, I want to say. I did really enjoy this one. But unfortunately it's just not like life-changing. It's not like, oh my god, like it's life-changing and like I'm just gonna read it over and over again. I might pick it up at some point in time, but 3 out of 5 stars is not bad for me. That's a solid read. I would highly recommend this one. I do love Brave, obviously, but what I do love about this book is that it's not like an actual duplicate of the movie, so you don't feel like you're just reading the movie all over again. It does have a lot of plot twists. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but there's so many things that are different compared to the film, but they're fun changes. They're very interesting changes. I really like that aspect of the book. I would definitely give this, though, a chance if you're into like the Twisted Tale Disney versions. I would actually start off with this one. This to me was just very engaging, very intriguing. I kept wanting to know what was going to happen next, so that's good. I do find that a lot of these stories, they tend to drag on a little bit, but for some reason this one didn't drag on, so I was really happy about that. But yeah, I would give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It's a solid read. I am going to keep it and add it to my collection because it's one of my favorites, obviously. But yeah, I did enjoy it for the most part, and I would recommend this book. So the next book that I ended picking up was For Twice in My Life by Annette Christie. This was a book that I hauled a couple vlogs ago, and I bought this book at Dollar Tree, and I wanted to read something fun and simple and quick, just because when my grandma being sick and everything, I just kind of wanted something fun and easy to take my mind off things while I was at work. But I did end up picking this up to read, and unfortunately it just did not hit it for me. It has a great storyline. I do love the concept because it's basically about a young woman who's dating this man, and she's in love with him. Everything's working out, it's just perfect. She loves him, she's just infatuated with him, and she just sees herself marrying him, having a future with him. But out of the blue, he breaks things off with her, and he doesn't give her much of an explanation as to why he wants to break up with her. So she is devastated. She is just devastated. She's going through like a little depression. She's just heartbroken. But then he ends up getting into a bike accident and he gets amnesia, and he does not remember the breakup. So he's in love with her all over again, and he has no recollection of the breakup. So she's kind of like, here's my chance. I'm going to like basically go along with it, so that way if he doesn't remember the breakup, then great, you know, we can just start over. And so I really enjoyed that concept of the story. I thought it was going to be fun and just very intriguing and engaging, and just something for me to kind of catch on to. But I did not care for the writing style. Unfortunately, it just did not hit it. I didn't care for the female character. I just didn't care for her vibe. It just didn't suit it for me. She just did not hit the mark to me. She seemed kind of boring sometimes. And the male character, he's kind of like in and out a lot, and I just wish it was more focused on him and what was happening, and because he's just in and out, and I was like, where's the boyfriend? When does he come back? Like, it was just sporadic, and unfortunately the writing just did not hit for me. I didn't care about the characters, and there was just too much, I think, background information on her that I did not care for. I didn't even care about it. So yeah, I just basically wanted to give you guys my thoughts on this book. This would have been another book that I have completed in the month, I believe in the beginning of April or mid-April, something like that. But with my grandma being sick, all time and awareness of time is just, it got thrown out the window. But anyway, I did try to finish this book, but unfortunately it just didn't hit it for me. So I'm just gonna end up donating this, giving it a new home. Maybe someone else will love it and appreciate it. But that is my other reading update. If any of you saw my reading short that I posted recently, you will know that I did unbox a very, very special book, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about this before I get on to my reading plans. But I did end up pre-ordering Watch Me by Tahara Mafi. Now, if you're new to my channel, you probably don't know this, but I am literally obsessed with the Shatter Me series. That is the love of my life. I love, love, love the series. It just has my heart. It has my soul. That's me. The Shatter Me series is just all me. It's all me every day. I will definitely pick up anything Shatter Me related. So I had to pick this up. When I seen that it was on pre-order on Amazon, I jumped on it and I pre-ordered it. So it finally came in, and I did do a little unboxing. And this is during the time when my grandma was sick, so I did not want to post anything. I wasn't in the mood to post, so unfortunately I already unboxed it. But this is how the book looks in person. Isn't it just so beautiful and gorgeous? Just look at that pink with that little hint of blue and that gold. It's just so beautiful. I haven't even read the back of the book. I haven't read the synopsis, the summary, nothing. All I know vaguely is that this is a novella based on James, and I believe it's 10 years later after Aaron Warner took over the reestablishment. And that's as far as I know. I am not going to spoil myself. I haven't even read the inside of the dust jacket, which I'll show you in a minute. But just looking at this, it is stunning. It is beautiful. It looks beautiful with the rest of my Shatter Me series that I have in the back. It's stunning. It's beautiful. And I am definitely going to read this as, I'm putting this as my priority book to read next, because I have to. I really do. But now look at the inside of these end pages. Aren't these adorable? Look at these. I believe they're gummy bears. Aren't these beautiful? They're just so cute. So the front side is pink, but if you look in the back, it's actually blue. And it is just so beautiful. I am so curious to know why gummy bears. What does that mean? I'm just so intrigued, and I'm definitely going to pick this up as soon as possible. But then, another thing that's really gorgeous about this stunning book, when you take off the dust jacket, I'm not even trying to read the detailing of this little passage, but it has something here. I don't want to spoil you guys in case none of you want to look at this right now like I am. I'm like, please don't tell me anything. I don't want to know. So again, it is beautiful. It's stunning. I'm just so intrigued. I'm just so excited to read this. I don't even want to read the words too much. So I don't want to give you guys a close-up view, because in case some of you don't want to read it, I should actually turn it around. But in case none of you don't want to be spoiled, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it around. But I just want to give you guys a quick look. It's beautiful, and I'm just so excited to read this. My grandma's excited to read it because she absolutely loves the Shatter Me series, and she was even like, I want you to read this first, because she did recommend that I read one of the romance books that I will talk about in a second, but she's like, I think you need to just go ahead and read this one first, because she knows how I am with the Shatter Me. She knows I'm obsessed with it. So she's like, I think you need to reprioritize your reading. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to be the next book I pick up, and I will try to vlog it. Unfortunately, I am working back to back this week, but this is going to be the book I think I'm going to pick up next, because I just have to. Like, that's the Shatter Me is like my heart. It's my soul. It's everything. So yeah, this is the book that I want to show you guys. I've been wanting to show you guys. I'm so sorry I couldn't post a vlog of me opening the package or unboxing it, but I just had to get this out because it is just beautiful. It is stunning, and I love it so much. Just, oh my god, I can't get enough of it, and I'm very excited to read it. So as far as my reading and what I'm going to be reading for the next couple weeks, I'm essentially making a TBR, but it is subject to change, only because I am a heavy mood reader. I go based off my mood, so that's why I'm not going to say oh, these are set in stone, but these are kind of the books that I basically chose based off what I feel like reading. So I don't exactly know the time frame when I'll be able to finish all these books, but I'm just gonna roll with it and see where it goes. So anyway, I do want to pick up this fantasy series. I did haul these a couple of vlogs ago, and it's by Victoria Avard, and this is the Glass Sword series. I believe it is a fantasy series, and I want to go ahead and start these, but I think I'm gonna start, obviously, Watch Me first by Tahara Mafi. I think I'm gonna start this book first before I give this one a go. but I definitely want to pick these up next. So this is going to be on my TBR for sure, or next on my TBR for the book that I pick up next to read. And obviously you guys know that it's all these books in the series. I think I am missing one, but either way, I'm going to give this a go. So I hopefully will finish these books or this series in the next weeks coming up. And now, for some reason, I feel like for me, for these couple of weeks or so, like I just felt like it was a month to do a reread, if you will. Like I just feel like I was in the mood to kind of revisit like books that I really enjoy or books that really sparked my love for reading. So I do want to revisit some of these stories, so that's why my TBR is kind of like all over the place. But anyway, we'll start off with Bobby Smith. This is Lady Deception. This is a historical romance novel, and it is so good. It's basically an enemies to lovers. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it is an enemies to lovers. It is so good, and it is basically about a bounty hunter who's after this what he thinks is a man named Cody, and he basically has to bring him in and serve justice. But what he doesn't know is that it's actually a female. She just has a male name, which is interesting. I don't want to give too much away, but this is a heavy romance book. I absolutely love Bobby Smith. She's one of my favorite writers of all time, especially in the historical romance genre. And I highly recommend, if none of you have ever tried a historical romance, I want to really emphasize that they are not boring. Some can kind of, drag on a little bit, but when it comes to Bobby Smith, Linda Lay Miller, Julie Garwood, those girls, like, they know how to do it right. So I would highly recommend picking this book or starting off with this one as a historical romance. If none of you have ever read a historical romance, try Bobby Smith. Give her a go. I promise she won't let you down. She is one of my top favorite writers of all time. And Bobby Smith and Lady Deception, actually, this book just had my heart. When I first read it, it was my all-time favorite. I've read this book I don't know how many times. It's one of my favorites. So I think I want to revisit this story. It's just so stunning. I love it. I always have a good time reading it. So this is why I do feel like I want to go back and read some of the stories that I do enjoy instead of picking something new. I don't know why. I just feel like revisiting some of my favorite stories. So this is one of them. So Lady Deception by Bobby Smith is going to be next on my TBR. So kind of sticking to my all-time favorites, I do want to revisit this trilogy, and it's written by Linda Lay Miller. These books had my heart. This is what kicked off my love for romance novels, especially in the historical romance genre, because before I would just read a lot of contemporary stuff, but these books inspired me to read historical romance. They're just stunning. I highly recommend these books. If you haven't read a historical romance before, I would recommend this trilogy. So we have Lily and the Major, Emma and the Outlaw, and Caroline and the Raider. I read these books years and years ago. This was like I think I finished high school already at that time when I picked these books up. And these were actually my mom's, and she passed them down to me to give them a try. And I absolutely adore these books. They just shaped my reading taste for historical romance. They are not boring. They will not disappoint you. It's a beautiful trilogy. So basically what it's about, it is about these sisters who are put into an orphanage and they're separated. And throughout the story, each sister is trying to find each other. And they're just going through life in different families because they were all adopted into different families. They were just separated. So what happens is, as they're trying to find each other, they actually find romance. So they actually find the love of their lives, and it is just so beautiful. And the romance is great. I love the romance that happens in these stories. They're beautifully written. I love these series. I love this trilogy. It just has my heart. These are my OG historical romance books that I always return to when I wanted like a comfort read. It was these types of books. These books inspired me to continue reading. They just kept me wanting to keep reading, and they are just stunning. These are not the original paperbacks though. I used to have the original paperbacks that my mom had. I actually had to rehunt these down, and I got these at Book Off. So I just picked them up. When I found them, I just picked them right up because I remembered these titles. The sad thing is though, when we had my mom's copies, this is when Kindle came out, and we were just in this stage of getting rid of our books because we wanted them all on one device, so we donated them, and I regret it now. I know, I regret it. It was dumb of me. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know where I was, where my head was. Don't even ask me. I regret it so much. But we found them again, which is great. So anyway, long story short, these books have just always stuck with me. I always remembered the titles, I remembered the names, so I was always like, when I go into a bookstore or a thrifted bookstore, I want to find these and hunt them down. So luckily, I did hunt them down, and I finally found them. These aren't the original copies. I believe the ones my mom had were a little bit different, but either way, I'm happy to have them now in the physical form because I am over Kindle at the moment. But if you've never read a historical romance, I would highly recommend this trilogy. It is so good. I know I mentioned Bobby Smith. Well, they're all good, but I would start off with Bobby Smith and then pick these up. If you never read a historical romance before and you think they're boring, or you have just this idea that they're boring, because I think people, they can tend to think that historical romances are boring. No, if they're done right, they will change your life. They're life-changing. They're just beautiful. I love these stories. They have my life. They have my heart. They just sparked my love for reading. So if you guys need some inspiration, or you just you're missing something in the romance genre, because I know a lot of the contemporary stuff now, it just doesn't do it for me, unfortunately, besides the Shatter Me. But other romance ones, they kind of just fall short more than half the time, unfortunately. So that's why I always feel like I just go back to these stories, because you care for the characters. With these types of stories, you care for the characters, you care for the love interest, you care for the romance, you care for even the side characters, which is what I love about the historical romance books. And then on top of that, it is just the time, the eras are always different. It is from way back when, and you just get involved into that era, that part of time, like the history of that time. It is just stunning. I love reading about the, cobblestone cottages and the carriages, the horse carriages, the buggies, the women with the big dresses. It's just stunning. I love that time and era. So I would highly recommend these. If you haven't given these types of books a try, I would recommend this series or this trilogy. So anyway, that was a long overdue explanation, but anyway, I would highly recommend these if you haven't given them a go. But these will be the books that I will be picking up next. So the other books that I do plan on picking up next is this romance book. I did mention it a couple times. This is actually highly requested by my grandma to read. So this is Her Heart's Delight by Renee J. Garrod. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. But this is going to be the book that I pick up next. I keep promising my grandma that I'm going to pick this up and read it, but for some reason it just didn't feel like the time. But now I do feel like I want to go back into my historical romance era, so I think this is going to be the one I pick up next. Obviously after reading Watch Me, because even my grandma was like, you need to just read Watch Me. Like, you need to read that one because you're going to be thinking about it. I know you are, and you have to, like, just do yourself a favor and read Watch Me so that way I can read it. So I was like, okay, fine. So I'm going to go ahead and read Watch Me first, and then I'll go ahead and pick up this one next, because she has been anxious for me to read this, so I feel really bad. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up. But honestly, it just didn't feel like the time, which she completely understands. But I'm just going to go ahead and pick this one up next. I did talk about this in my other previous vlog, so I'm not going to go into detail about it, but it does sound intriguing. My grandma's mentioned a few of the funny scenes that happen in here. It's basically an enemies to lovers, and it is a historical romance, so I'm all for it. So that's going to be next after Watch Me. And then these are requested by my sister-in-law. She lent these books to me, and these are the Colleen Hoover books. So we have Ugly Love and Verity. I've heard mixed things about these books, but honestly, I kind of forgot about what they're about, but I don't want to spoil anything. I kind of just want to walk into these blind because I'm not too big of a fan of Colleen Hoover. I've just heard mixed things, and to me, she just didn't seem like that type of writer that I would enjoy, unfortunately, but you never know. These books might change my mind and blow me away, so we'll see about that. And then I'm going to go ahead and try If He Had Been With Me by Lauren Nowlin. This book, I've seen it everywhere. It's very, very popular, especially in the booktube world. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. Again, I'm walking into this one blind. I don't know too much about it, but I obviously don't want to spoil myself. But I'm going to go ahead and put this next on my TBR, and it's going to be one of the books that I pick up next, obviously. So I'm very excited to get to this one. Okay, last but not least, I think I'm going to go ahead and reread the Shatter Me series, but the difference is I think after I read Watch Me and obviously a lot of my comfort reads, I'm going to go ahead and start the series over. Even if I read only up to Ignite Me, I'm totally fine with that, but I'm going to go ahead and read this because I miss these characters so bad. I think about them all the time, and they're just one of those comfort books that I need to go back to very often. So I really do feel it's that time, because every time I feel like I want to reread the Shatter Me, I'm kind of like, it's not the time. It has to be the right moment and the right time, but every time is the right time, right? Like, it's the Shatter Me. Like, when is it ever not a good time to read it? So I think I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. And I think hopefully if I read Watch Me, I think it's gonna reignite my love to go back to the Shatter Me series. So I just think I owe it to them to go back to this world and these characters, because hello, you, like, why not, you know? But I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up this edition because I want to experience reading in a pretty copy. Obviously they're all beautiful and stunning, but I think I want to pick up this one. I'm just feeling the blue and the gold foiling and just the feel of it. Like, I just really think I want to pick up Shatter Me again, and I want to read it from these stunning editions. I do have to order Ignite Me in this kind of edition, but that can be later on. But either way, I do have copies of it, so it's not like I'm like I have no option, so I'm all good. But I think I'm going to go ahead and reread the Shatter Me series again. Even if it's up to book 3, I'm totally fine with that. So this is going to be one of the last books that I'm going to potentially be reading for the next couple of weeks. And that is it, you guys. That is all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon, hopefully. I will be doing a reading vlog when I do start reading Watch Me by Tahara Mafi. I'm so excited about it. I'm anxious about it. So I definitely want to vlog it because I want to document my experience. Oh, and one other thing. Sorry, real quick, before I end the clip. I did not know, and I don't know if any of you know, or if any of you realize this, if you ordered this book or if you know anything about it, but it says book 1. So I don't know if Tahara Mafi is going to continue this. I don't know. But if any of you know the ins and outs of what's going on here, please let me know. Comment down below, because you know I'm going to jump on it. If this book is really good and she comes out with book 2 and book 3 and so on and so forth, you know I have to buy them. You know I have to pick those up. So yeah, book 1, what does that mean? Hello, what's going on? Please let me know if you know, because I'm lost. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, I'm so excited to get to this book and obviously all my comfort reads and just the whole historical romance genre. I really miss that genre, and obviously some new books as well. I'm very anxious to get to the fantasies and a couple of romance ones. We'll see how that goes, but I'm very excited for Watch Me. But anyway, that is all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me once again. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you did enjoy this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye!